Alright, so cool. This is going to be a should you summon for the Gogeta and Vegito. So there's two banners, right? Two banners. It's quite insane, and you probably want to decide which one you should summon on. You probably like both of them. I know I do. I know I'm already going for Vegito just off my bias first, but I'll be getting both of them 100% just because I have a lot of Chrono Crystals. But you might be in a position where you have to allocate your Chrono Crystals specifically to one. This is not a should you summon. You should summon. It's about who you should summon on given your circumstances. You might like both. If you like one over the other, my straightaway advice is that they're both good enough to summon on. It doesn't matter which one you like. Summon on both of them if you like both of them. Summon on one of them if you like one of them. If you like Gogeta more than Vegeta, go for Gogeta. If you go for like Vegito more than if you like Gogeta more than Vegito, go for Gogeta. It doesn't really matter in this case. They're both good enough. They both have endurance nullification. Vegito, I'll explain his just quickly, but you're gonna have to kind of trust me because I can't do a full kit rundown. I don't have enough time for it. And on top of that, there's just so much. There's literally Goku's kit, Vegito's kit, no, Goku's kit, Vegeta's kit, then Vegito's kit, and then the same thing with Gogeta. So it'd be Goku's kit, Vegeta's kit, then Gogeta's kit. It's so much reading, so I basically just gonna chop it down to you, and you want to just basically trust me, or you can go read it yourself and then fact check things. I advise you read it yourself, to be honest, because this is not a full kit breakdown. It's a should you summon, advising what I think is best for you. So let me actually bring this up, right? And here I have Vegito, right? I have Vegito's kit, so let's talk about him first. I think the big turning point for him is that he's blue, but it's also a downside because he doesn't have many Zenkai buffs. So if I bring this up here, I go to blue, right? And then what I want to do is change this to Sparkings and show the Zenkais. Luckily, because it's Goku and Vegeta, and even as Vegito, he retains the Son family and Vegeta clan tags. He can get Zenkai buff by a lot of people, but if you're running him on the Fusion Warriors, he lacks that Zenkai buff option. If we're looking at Zenkai buffs here, he has Pan, Bardock, he has Nameku. Where is he at? Nameku over here. He also has these two, which is good, but he doesn't have any Fusion Warrior buffs. So Vegito not being a movies unit also kind of hurts him. Obviously, he's not a movies unit, where Gogeta is. But because he's not a movies unit, it kind of hurts him a bit because he can't be Zenkai buffed by, like, say, for example, this blue Gogeta, where is he, would be able to be run on the team. Do you get? So in general, I think he lacks strong Zenkai buffs, but because he's not Ultra, as long as you're only running one Ultra and you put down the guy on the leader slot. So let's say I want to run Fusion Warriors. I'll put Ultra Vegito Blue on the leader slot. He gets the Ultra ability. This guy's a Legends Limited. Then that allows me to settle for a Nameku Zenkai buff. So it's not really a big deal. So there's no real complaints here. It's just that in terms of Zenkai buffs, whereas Gogeta, I'm going to get into that later, but he has Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, who's a Fusion Warrior, a Zenkai buffer for Fusion Warrior, and he buffs HP. And Gogeta's Z ability is actually much better, but I'll get into that in a bit. Let's focus on Vegito right now. So going into his kit, pretty much he nullifies endurance and rush, and the big thing about him is that when he's at Vegito, he's able to basically just beat every rising rush. Even if you pick him, he's still gonna do supreme damage straight after. Obviously, a lot of people can nullify his rising rush nullification. So when you press the rush, he's going to nullify endurance. But a lot of people can cancel that. Do you know what I mean? You can't cancel his nullification of, like, rising rushes getting picked. So just make that clear. I don't want to word it wrongly. Outside of that, they have a lot of things that are, like, very inconvenient. So, like, for example, pre-transformation, I believe Vegeta, he's able to, like, increase the enemy sub count through arts card. I think it's his blue card here, inflicts enemy sub count up. There's a lot of cards being drawn. In general, super good consistent comboing. The unit's super good damaging, and in general, they're going to put you in a safe position. Like even this, look, shortens ally sub counts by 5 when enemy activates ultimate arts, awakened arts, etc, etc. I don't think Gogeta has this specifically, but he has a lot of other things where sub counts are being reduced. So like Gogeta and Vegito, they're very similar, but I'll get into that in a bit. But like I'm trying to dive into so many factors, but Gogeta is really good. Vegito is really good. Z abilities are similar as well. Like here, the HP buff for Majin Buu Saga. I mentioned Gogeta having a HP buff, which is obviously better. But it's mainly because this guy's only HP buff is Majin Buu Saga. Nobody cares about Majin Buu Saga. Whereas Gogeta Blues is God Key, so that's way better, you know. As Majin Buu Saga as a team, it's just not what we're looking for. It should have been like Fusion Warriors or something. That would make it a lot more effective. They both have blast armor, whether you're on Goku's or Vegeta sides or Vegito's side. Like in general, just super good. Let me get into Vegito now, because I'm really just like dancing around it, not trying to go too deep into a kit breakdown. Like I said, you should read the kits yourself, but for the most part, it puts you in a safe position. And if you're wondering, when you transform, you gain 100% health. All right, let me bring up Gogeta here. So similar things, to be honest, nothing too crazy. It's a lot more sub count reduction on Gogeta's side, and instead of having the Rising Rush gimmick, what he has is he's able to ignore gauges. So have you ever been fighting UI Goku, Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Janemba, Ultra Gogeta Blue? Those guys counter you and stop your combo, right, when you do a certain thing? Wrong. In this case, with Gogeta Blue, he will literally fly around and you get a unique animation, and he's going to keep going because he doesn't care about any of those. It's really, really cool, actually. If you see it, if you watch the reveal, you will know it's really, really cool. It's dope. It gives you an advantage and allows you to take out a lot of units. The only issue with it, it's not really an issue, but it's something you need to be aware of. It has to be chained. So if you start the combo one way and then you continuously chain cards, right, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's super, super good. It specifies that in the kit as well. I'm scrolling down to find it. So here, applies the following effects to strike arts command to a chain strike or blast arts. So nullifies enemy special cover change that activates, and then nullifies enemy evade or counter actions that activate while receiving an attack, and it just doesn't work in co-op or full power battle. That's just some things to notice about Gogeta Blue. Very, very useful to know in battle, but for the most part it's going to be similar things. Like there's a lot of type neutral in both these guys. Like here you can see the type neutral for damage sustained, which is dope. After fusing, you get the 100% health after fusing as well. That's something you should very much keep note of. It's super useful. Again, similar things. I don't want to go too much into detail with the depth of it, but I'm also want to advise from this point onwards about these two units. Now, the biggest question I got asked in my stream is, okay, which one should you summon on if you like both? I think this is the biggest dilemma. In most cases, if you like one or the other, you've already made your decision. This video is useless. So for the most part, you're done with the video. But if you like both, what do you do? In my opinion, I think that Gogeta is slightly better than Vegito and has easier accesses to Zenkai buffs, which makes him more valuable. Long term, I don't know. I feel like Vegito will be a little bit more oppressive, but it depends on how the meta shapes. I think Vegito has a better element, which gives him slightly more value, but it depends on what units release in the near future. For example, part 2, part 3 of the anniversary. However, because these units can be run on Sun Family / Vegeta Clan, I think Ultra UI pretty much makes Gogeta Blue's value in the meta lesser. And let me explain why I say this. I'm not saying Ultra UI is better than Gogeta Blue. What I'm saying is they fulfill a similar role on the team. You're trying to bypass gauges, right? So in this case, with Gogeta Blue, you'd use his chains that he does so that you can actually avoid the counters and whatnot. If you're using UI, he can still lock people in offensively. When they try to switch out, he drags them back in. That's super effective. So because they fulfill a similar role and they're on the exact same team, besides from Fusion Warrior, for that case, if you have Ultra UI, and I'd say at least maybe 2 copies, so 8-star or higher, you do not need to summon for Gogeta Blue. That's not me being biased towards Gogeta Blue, because you guys know I am a Vegito guy, but I've already said I think Gogeta Blue is better. But simply because he fulfills a similar role to UI, his value is lesser for that sake. And this is only in the case you like both of them. So for that reason, I think you should summon on Vegito. Vegito has more stock because nobody's replacing him. If we look at the blue options, which is what I wanted to bring up here, if we look at the blue options, these blue options are not better than him. They're just not. Bomku and Bardock and Goku are the best 2 blues. Somebody tried to bring up Super Saiyan Goku with his plat. Like, let's be honest. Let's call it a ban, bro. Let's be for real. This guy is not Vegito. He's not Goku and Vegeta or Vegeta and Goku. So because this guy has less likeliness of being replaced or being substituted on the same team outside of Fusion Warriors, Vegito has more value if you like both of them. So my advice for that is, just to repeat it, if you like both of them, go for Vegito, because given you have UI Goku. If you don't have UI Goku, go for Gogeta, because Gogeta is slightly better in my opinion, and he has more access to Zenkai buffs. I think that's everything I wanted to say for this should you summon. Not even should you summon. You should summon. It pretty much just chops it up to who you like most. If you like both, again, for the last time, just so I can make it clear, because I feel like I'm starting on my words with the fact that there's so much hype going around, you gotta let me slide. I'm not even editing videos for this. If you have UI, go for Vegito because they fulfill a similar role to Gogeta. If you don't have UI, go for Gogeta because I think Gogeta is slightly better than Vegito. That's my conclusion for these two units. These two units are very similar. If Gogeta Blue is a 9.9, Vegito is literally a 9.8. It's not that much of a difference, but Vegito does have a better element in my opinion for the meta. But Gogeta has better Zenkai buffs access to him, specifically Gotenks on Fusion Warriors. But outside of that, you just make your own decision based on common sense. Even if he's God Key, you know, like there's value in that too. But I think that's everything I wanted to say for this video, like the core points of this you should summon. You guys should definitely be making your own decisions. Of course, I will be summoning live on stream. Literally, I'll be live in a couple minutes if you're watching this straight away. But this is my solid opinion on what I think about these two units. Sorry I didn't go into the kits more heavily, but I'll do that on stream. But I really feel like because, like, there's only 2 hours. There's only 2 hours. My grandma and grandma shouting at me. Grandpa and grandma shouting at me. I'm like, damn, bro, I'm making hella noise. But I'm going too much into venting here. Good luck on your summons. Make the right decision. If you can get both, that's even better. But if you gotta go for one, I gave you my advice. Good luck again. I'll be live streaming. And yeah, man. Anniversary, best anniversary in existence. Take care.